Hey, hello, welcome to the show. It's me, JP, and you are here just in time for JP's product pick of the week, of the first week of August. Welcome and thank you for joining us. If you're in the chat somewhere and you're wondering, why is it so quiet? Where is everyone? Why is Twitch chat a wasteland? That is because we are mostly over on our Discord. So if you want to check it out, head on over to adafruit.it/Discord and look for the live broadcast chat channel. And you will find the people in here. We're also keeping an eye on the YouTube chat. So hello. Hey, Tackle the World, Dave Odessa, Dave Etchels, Gavin Bell. Nice to see you all. Thanks for stopping by. And over in our chat, thanks Jim Hendrickson and C. Grover and I believe our good friend Todd Bot just stopped by, a different chat actually, to say hello. And I am glad to have you here. What is happening? Oh my goodness, DJ Devon 3 with the fast photoshoppery. I appreciate it. Yeah, Lars is a pal too, admittedly. So look at this cutie though, huh? This is a little golden retriever lab puppy that we're taking care of and raising for a little bit. So let's see, what have we got going on today? First of all, will encourage you to head over to that URL right there and that QR code if you are interested in checking out this week's product pick of the week. You will find that this show is broadcast from inside of there, so you won't miss a beat if you watch it from inside the page, which is in the shop. And I say that because this week's product pick is, I believe, half off, and you can get up to 10 of them without a need for a coupon code or anything. So if you want to get some, throw them in your cart and just make sure to purchase them, go through the whole purchase process before the end of the show, because we do turn off the discount right around the end of the show. So you might have a few minute grace period, but if you want to be sure to get this week's product pick, then head to that URL right there. It's product ID 5770. You can go check them out right now if you want. But before I say any more about it, I'm going to have Lady Ada go and tell us about it in her new product segment. So take it away, Lady Ada.
The I2S Amp BFF. I love these BFFs. We have our Cutie Pie boards, and Seed has their Shao boards, and maybe you want to be making very small projects. Well, we've had a bunch of BFFs that add NeoPixel level shifting, that add battery support. We have one that's coming out with iSpy. And one of the things that I thought would be really useful is to be able to have high quality audio come out, because a lot of the Cutie Pies that we have don't have analog outputs. And maybe you want to make a little music player or a prop or some toy that makes audio sounds. So this I2S amplifier is a great 3-watt amp. It uses 3 pins. And on the ESP32 and RP2040 and NRF52840, Cutie Pie and Shao boards, you can use any pins. I will say this doesn't work in this configuration with the SAMD21. It could work, but you'd have to cut the traces and rewire it. And let me see if I've got my demo. So let's go to the overhead again. I don't know if this will work, but we'll try. If not, I can just show it off. Oh yeah. Okay, so I've got music coming out of here, so you can hear the audio. So this is actually streaming using the ESP32, and it's connected to an MP3 server that's streaming our frequency.
That's so cool.
Record that Tom White did. He was COO here at Adafruit. So it's streaming the audio out, and it's sending the data over I2S, which is digital, which then is connected to this Molex Pico Blade connector. So to keep it nice and small, we're using Molex Pico Blade. You know, I just grabbed one in the shop. We have the little pigtails, and I soldered it to this 4-ohm 3-watt speaker, which is the max you can drive with this. By default, it's set up to be stereo. So you see this R and L. You leave them empty, and it means it's mixing the left and right channels to make a stereo output, which will sound great for 99% of use cases. If you ever just want the left or right channel, you would solder one of those bridges closed. It's also connected to A0, A1, and A2 for the data pins. So in the back, I think, yeah, the default is D, it is A0. Left, right, word select A1, and bit clock is A2. But you can cut these traces, and then there's these little pads you can solder to, and you can like solderable wires if desired to connect to other pins. Again, for the SAM-D21, you'd have to do that. What's nice is the RP2040, ESP32 series, and the NR52840 can use any pins for I2S. So, you can use those defaults or you can change them as desired. And it gets you nice, high quality digital audio. So if you want to make music players, I mean, again, this one is streaming, but what you could do is, especially on the RP2040, which has 8 megabytes of onboard storage with the QSPI flash in CircuitPython, you can easily play fairly long audio clips. It even supports MP3 through I2S. Arduino also has some I2S support, but it's not as good, honestly, as CircuitPython, which kind of we've really tried to make it have first-class support for streaming MP3 or WAV files. This ESP32 demo is in Arduino. It's just one of the demos that I found published for I2S MP3 streaming, and that works fine too. You can also use 8-ohm speakers, but 4-ohm 3-watt will get you the most audio. So for like $5, you've got digital quality audio coming out with a Class D amplifier. I really love the Max 98 357 chip on here. It's a very good quality audio amplifier, and it makes for a lovely little board to add to your Stomach QT or Shell.
Yeah, look, there it is right there. Look how cute. This right here is my product pick of the week this week. It is the I2S Amplifier BFF. It's your best friend forever for your QT Py or Xiao board, which you will just place back to back with a QT Py, and then in code you can call the pins that have been selected. There's 3 pins used, as well as power and ground, in order to send really nice high quality digital audio out to a speaker. The speaker can be up to 3-watt, 4-ohm, or 8-ohm speaker. And like Lady Ada said, we have a nice little Pico Blade connector there that you can plug in. Some of our speakers come pre-wired with that. You can also splice your own on depending on your needs. And what I wanted to do is, let me show you a nice little demo of this. Let's go back to this camera view here. And you can see, let me get that zoomed out just a little bit. That's a bit aggressive. Hold on. Zoom, come on. Out, there we go. Yeah, it looks pretty good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on another microphone that's gonna pick this up so you can hear me and the BFF over the speaker there pretty well, I think. And I will go ahead and start that audio playing. And I'll show you the code for this in a second. But here we go. Let's actually, I'll explain what's going on here. So I have my BFF hooked up to the back side of a QT Py RP2040, and then you can see I've got a nice little speaker plugged in there. And these speakers sound really good when they are coupled with a soundboard. So they have an adhesive ring on them that you press to your enclosure. They're made for things like tablets and laptops, so they work really well, nice and flat, pressed up against the enclosure. And I'm going to go ahead and start the couple samples I have playing here, a couple sound samples. And let me know if you can hear that pretty well. Otherwise, I can move the mic around and try to increase the gain there. I'll wait a moment. Yeah, QT Py specific microphone. I actually have this nice little, it's a guitar cabinet amplifier, or microphone rather. And could be louder. Okay, let me crank. But you know what? I'm also going to raise these up just a little bit. I'll refocus that. Okay, well, volume pretty low for hearing the sounds. Much better. Okay, good. So just to explain, this will make it a little easier when we pump up the volume, says David S. I think that's pumped. Good. So this will make it a little easier when I show an excerpted video of this. I'll explain again what this is. So here you can see I have the I2S Amplifier BFF soldered to the back side of a QT Py RP2040. And then I've just plugged in one of these nice little speakers that have the Pico Blade connectors. So you can pull that right off depending on how your setup is meant to be put together. This is playing 3 wave files that I have actually all playing at the same time, and then I'm just changing their output levels in the mixer, in audio mixer. All happening inside of CircuitPython, and they're just looping sounds. And you can see this will work really well for projects that are maybe small props, little enclosures, costume things, sound players, toys, little synthesizers, and the like. So really nice, easy, basically plug and play. If you want to see what's going on in code here, the key thing here is that I am setting up on audio bus I/O. I have audio equals audio bus I/O, I2S out, and then I've selected the 3 pins that I need for the I2S audio. So those are board A0 for the audio data pin, A1 for the word select or LRC pin, and then board A2 for the bit clock pin. With those set up as the audio object, I can then open up a bunch of wave files. I have 3 of them in this case on the onboard flash of the QT Py. Then I'm setting up the mixer with the number of voices that I have samples, in this case 3. And then I take all of those and I start them playing with their levels down. And then I have, since these were mixed at different levels, I'm playing them back at different levels as well. And so in my main loop here, I just go through and adjust the mixer voice level there so that we can hear individual sounds. If we want, we can actually play them all at once. Let's just make a racket here. I'll set them all to a level of 1, and I'll just leave them there. So we'll layer them. So we'll hear the first one, and then we're going to add the second one on top, and now the third one. Starting to blow it out there a little. I'm peaking that speaker by playing them all at such a high level. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and stop that right there, just Control C. So code is really straightforward. Here is a look at these front and back. 1 second. So you can see this is the Max 98357A amplifier, I2S amplifier. It has jumpers on it so that you can cut the built-in pin definitions. If you don't want to use A1, 2, and 0 as intended, you can then jumper to other pins on here, especially useful if you're on a board like the M0 that doesn't have the same default pins as most of the other QT Pys that we're intending this for. And you can see on the bottom there, this little pads for each of those pins that can be plugged into, just jumper wired over to different pins there. Let's see, what else is there to know about it? You can change the left, right, or left only or right only audio. So if the I2S audio you're sending to it is stereo, this will kind of do a mix for you, which is nice, improves the quality, but you can also go in and jumper those to, if you have some other use in mind. I actually have mono samples on here, and even though it's trying to do the stereo mix thing, it sounds fine. I haven't experimented with it to hear how that changes if I jumper that, but that would be worthwhile to do. If you want to check out the main page here, like I said, this is product 5770. You can see they are normally only $4.95. Right now they're $2.47, half off during the show right now. So just throw them into your cart. You can get up to 10 of them, and you don't need a coupon code. You'll just be able to buy those at that price during the show. You can see here we include one Molex Pico Blade 2-pin cable. If you want to get one of these, this will allow you to then solder onto some other speaker. Or you can grab, I don't know if we have it listed down here. Let's just type in speaker. I have one of these little mini oval speakers with short wire. We also, I believe, have one with a regular length wire. Those may be the only speakers we have that come with the Pico Blade connector on there, so you can look through. But you should be able to drive any 3 ohm, rather up to 3 watt, 4 ohm or 8 ohm speaker that we have here. Sorry, 1 watt. This is a 1 watt speaker, not a 3 watt. Let's see. Other info, if you click on the Learn Guide link in the main product page, you'll see we've got a nice guide here from Kattni, give you an overview of the board, a little info about your pinouts, connectors, I2S pins, setting the jumpers to different pins, the through-hole pads for jumpering those if you want to, as well as the left-right channel jumper. So this defaults to a stereo mix, but you can go to the right only or the left only depending on your needs. Little hint, by the way, sneaky trick that should work with this. I haven't tried it, but if you need extra sounds and you've run out of space, sometimes you can get away with using a stereo left-right mix and just jumpering over to left or right only and actually have them be 2 completely different sounds. Those may end up being the same size as individual monos, or you may be able to compress things a little further with that. So it's an option for if you want to have kind of 2 sound banks and don't want to use extra buttons and code. You could potentially have stereo files that are actually completely unrelated left and right channels and just flip between those on that using a slide switch on that little solder pad. Then there's info about using this inside of CircuitPython as well as Arduino. A little demo there. You can see that has a different speaker connected up to it. And that's a typical setup there. You can see with some using some header socket male and female pins there. On the one I did here, you can see this actually, I'll go ahead and unplug this from USB and the speaker. So in this one you can see I got it pretty low just by using the headers that come with it, just these male headers. I did not trim these. You could trim these to get this a little low profile. I left these on here in case I wanted to sort of wire wrap any additional outputs or buttons. But keep in mind you've got your Stemma QT connector, so if you do want to use some sort of I2C based input or other sensors, accelerometers, keypads, and so on, you can plug them into here, maybe a rotary encoder. There's a lot of ways to add interface or even add a display over that Stemma QT, and you will not disturb the I2S audio here. Those are on different pins. So it becomes a pretty versatile little package. And look how tiny it is. It's basically the size of this little speaker here, so you can really mush this into a small space. Let's see, anything else? I think, oh, here's a question from YouTube. Will headphones work, asks Dave Etchels. I don't think I've ever tried running headphones off of this amplifier. I don't see why not. But if anyone has tried it or has info to the contrary, let me know. It wouldn't be too hard to use a little headphone breakout. We have either just individual mono 3.5 millimeter or stereo ones, and you can solder both channels. There's a chance that'll work. I would try it. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't. It's not designed for it, but I think you might be able to get away with using headphones. Let's see. OG Thinkster wishes there were better samples. Well, get one and put your favorite samples on, and then they will be for you personally better. For me, these are my favorite. That's just because I'm using those samples right now for a project, a different project. Gavin Bell asks, does a BFF stack with the Li-Poly or NeoPixels work? Yeah, so you can stack these if you use long stacking headers and add a little battery, LiPo battery BFF. You could add a NeoPixel one. So long as you, with something like the NeoPixels, are setting it for a pin that isn't in use, so this uses 0, 1, and 2, you can use different BFFs to stack onto here. The li-poly battery one doesn't use any pins, so unless I'm forgetting something, so you should be able to do the li-poly add-on to this and audio all in one, which is a really nice idea. I like that. All right, I think that is going to do it for questions. Penpego says you can play Bad Apple on it. Yeah, there you go. Are headphones the right ohm resistance? Yeah, that would be the question. I just don't know, actually. I don't know if you can do your typical headphones. I don't know if they're 3 ohm, 4 ohm. I'm not sure what the typical resistance is, but yeah, that could be the kicker there. Yeah, and a really good point actually that Penpengu made is you can check the downloads page of the Learn Guide for the datasheet, and this will potentially answer your question as far as your ability to drive headphones or different impedance outputs. So they say this one, let's see, sometimes they'll give their use case for this. Usually it's up at the top though, so I've probably passed it if they have it. Yeah, notebooks, notebook computers, cellular phones, tablets. Presuming speakers. I don't know if it would say if it's a headphone driver as well. Good question. Sorry, I don't know the answer. But yeah, if we come up with a good answer for that, we'll add that to the product page. All right. I think that is going to do it. So let me go ahead and grab, where'd my spare one go? They're so tiny, they're easy to lose. There they are. That right there is my product pick of the week this week. It is the I2S Amplifier BFF for Cutie Pie and Zhao. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park. This has been JP's product pick of the week. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.